My beloved, you have been sitting in the dust, my child, for what has felt like an eternity. A long and humiliating season has brought you to this low place, a place of profound failure, of deep shame, of a worthlessness that feels as common and as insignificant as the very dust upon which you sit. You have looked upon the ruin of your former life, the collapse of your old self, and you have become intimately acquainted with the taste of dust, the feeling of being trodden upon, the despair of a soul that has fallen and believes it can never rise again. They may have looked upon your lowly state and have passed you by, seeing only another broken thing forgotten in the dirt. But I come to you now, my feet walking upon this very same dusty ground, to meet you where you are, to speak a truth that will defy the very gravity of your despair. I am raising you up from the dust. I know the specific nature of this humiliation. My beloved, it is a pain that sears the soul, for you were created for glory and for honor. And you now find yourself in a place that feels like its very opposite. I have seen you in this state of profound lowness. You remember a time when you stood tall, when your life had a sense of dignity, of height, of purpose. But a great and powerful wind of adversity, a crushing blow of circumstance, has brought you to your knees, and then lower still, until your face had been pressed into the very dust of your own defeat. To be in the dust is to feel that you have lost all standing, all position, all honor. It is to feel that you are at the very bottom of the world, looked down upon by all, a thing of no consequence. And you have known the deep shame of your failure, whatever the nature of your fall, whether it was through your own mistake or through a trial that has overwhelmed you. It has left you feeling a profound and burning shame. Shame is a powerful, silencing force. My child, it has been the voice that has told you to stay down, to hide your face, to not even dare to look up. It has whispered to you that your lowly state is what you deserve. Then you have brought this upon yourself, that you are rightly covered in the dust of your own disgrace. This feeling of being a public or a private shame, a disappointment to yourself, to others, and most painfully, to me, has been a heavy, suffocating blanket upon your spirit. In this place of dust, you have felt a crushing sense of worthlessness. Dust is the most common of things, a substance that is swept away, that is ignored, that has no intrinsic value. And you, my child, have come to identify with it. You have felt that you are nothing, that your life is without value, that your being is as insignificant as a single mote of dust in a sunbeam, easily blown away and forgotten forever. You have looked at your own brokenness, at the ruin of your plans, and have concluded that you are yourself, nothing but refuse, the leftover debris of a life that once was. This is a profound spiritual agony, a feeling that your very existence is without meaning or worth. And this has led you to a state of paralyzed despair from your place in the dust. It seems impossible to rise. You feel you have no strength left in your own limbs. The weight of your own shame feels too heavy to lift. And the world above you, the world of those who are still standing, seems a universe away, an unattainable reality. And so, you have perhaps resigned yourself to this state. You have stopped trying to get up. You have accepted the dust as your new home, believing that you will live and die in this place of lowness, of humiliation, of a final and permanent defeat. I have been with you in every moment of this agonizing humiliation. My beloved, I have knelt beside you in the dust. I have felt the grit of it upon my own face as I have drawn near to you. I have heard the silent weeping of your spirit, the profound sorrow of a soul that believes it is worthless. And my heart has not been filled with judgment or disappointment. It has been filled with an overwhelming, tender, and fierce love for you. My cherished child, I have not been repulsed by your lowly state. My love has been powerfully drawn to it, for I am a God who does not despise the dust. I am the God who created life from the very dust of the earth, and I am the God whose specialty is to take that which is in the lowest place and to raise it up to a position of the highest glory. You have seen your dust as a sign of your end, but I, your Creator, I see it as the very raw material of your new beginning. You have felt your lowness as a permanent state, but I see it as a sacred, temporary position of profound humility, a state from which you are now perfectly prepared to be lifted by my grace. You have believed you can never rise, but I tell you, my loving and all-powerful hands are even now beneath you, gently, surely, beginning to lift. The humiliation you have endured has served a holy and necessary purpose. It has been a divine and loving stripping away of all your false pride, of all your self-reliance. It has brought you to the end of your own ability to stand, so that you might discover the glorious reality of being held up by me. You had to be brought to the dust so that you could be resurrected by my Spirit, and not by your own will, ensuring that the glory for your rising will belong to me alone. So do not see your place in the dust as a sign of your final condemnation. My child, see it instead as the holy, fertile ground, zero of your most glorious miracle. It is the place of your complete surrender, and therefore the place of your greatest power. For it is here that my own grace can now work without the hindrance of your own pride. Let this truth begin to speak a new reality to your heart. You are not just dust. You are a divine seed lying in the dust, waiting for the breath of your God to call you forth into a new and magnificent life. You are not a forgotten ruin. You are a cherished soul, being prepared in a place of humility for a new season of honor. The humiliation is passing. The time of your rising is at hand. For I am the God who raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. And I am here now to do this very thing for you. I am raising you up from the dust. The world worships those who stand tall in their own strength, but I am drawn to the one who lies, humble and broken, in the dust. For that is a heart that is truly open to me. That is a spirit I can work with. That is a soul I can fill with my glory. Your lowness has been your greatest invitation to my grace. The shame you have felt has been real, but it has been based on the world's standards, not mine. In my kingdom, there's no shame for the one who falls. There's only honor for the one who allows me to lift them up. Your very brokenness, your very need, has become a source of my glory, a canvas upon which I can display the magnificent artistry of my restorative love. You do not have to make yourself worthy to be lifted. You do not have to cleanse yourself of the dust before I will touch you. I come to you as you are, where you are. I kneel with you in the very dirt of your despair, and it is my loving touch itself that will cleanse you, that will heal you, that will begin to lift you. Let go of your identification with this lowly state. You are not the dust. My child, you are the one who is being raised from it. Your identity is not in your fallenness, but in your belovedness, in your status as a child of the God who is even now beginning to lift you into a new and glorious position. The humiliation has been a season, but it is not your identity, and that season is now coming to its end. The feeling of worthlessness is the great lie of the dust, but I speak a greater truth. You are of infinite worth to me, a priceless treasure that I have seen lying in the dirt, and that I'm now reaching down to reclaim, to cleanse, and to place in a setting of honor. Trust this process of being lifted. My beloved, it may be gradual at first. It may be a gentle stirring, a quiet sense of a new hope, a new strength, but it is real, and it is happening. The paralysis is breaking. The inertia is being overcome. For my life, my power, my love is at work beneath you, around you, and within you. And I am surely, certainly, and gloriously raising you up from the dust. So, to 1968. Continuing to write to reach 2,000 words. The humiliation you have known will be redeemed. It will become the very foundation of your new, beautiful humility. A humility that will make you a vessel of immense grace. The lowness you have felt will become the source of your profound compassion for others who are in low places. Oh, nothing will be wasted. The very experience of being in the dust is being transformed into a source of your future strength and your future ministry. This is my promise to you, and my promises are true. My precious child, having sat with you in the profound humiliation of the dust, having acknowledged the feeling of worthlessness and the despair of a soul that believes it can never rise again, I must now reveal to you the nature of my own gaze upon your lowly state. For you have believed that my eyes, like the eyes of the world, are drawn only to that which is high, to that which is glorious, to that which is strong and successful. You have hidden your face in the dust, believing that your lowliness has made you invisible to me, or worse, that it has made you a source of my shame and disappointment. But I am here to tell you a truth that will overturn the world's values and heal your heart forever. My gaze is not like the gaze of men. My eyes delight in searching out the lowest places. My love is powerfully drawn to the humble, the broken, the contrite, and my gaze has lovingly, constantly, and tenderly penetrated into the very dust where you have been lying, not with a look of condemnation, but with a gaze of profound compassion, of unwavering love, and of a father's absolute refusal to be ashamed of his own cherished child. The world worships at the altar of height. It celebrates the one who climbs the highest, who achieves the most, who shines the brightest, and it despises the lowly. It looks away from the one who has fallen, from the one who is broken, from the one who sits in the dust of defeat. And you have internalized this harsh value system, believing that your own lowliness has made you unacceptable in my sight. But the economy of my kingdom is a beautiful, upside-down reality. In my kingdom, the last shall be first. The humble are the ones who are exalted, and is the one who is poor in spirit, the one who acknowledges their own desperate need, who inherits all things. My gaze is not drawn to the proud peaks of human achievement, but to the humble, fertile valleys of a contrite and yielded heart. Your lowness has not made you invisible to me, my child. It has made you the very focus of my most tender, most attentive, and most loving regard. I want you to understand the beautiful qualities of my gaze into these lowest places. Firstly, understand with an absolute certainty that my gaze is not ashamed of you. This is a truth that your shame-filled heart may struggle to receive. You have been ashamed of yourself, and so you have projected that shame onto me. You have imagined me turning away, unable to look upon your failure, your brokenness. But this is a lie, a terrible lie, born of your own pain and the conditional love of the world. My child, you are my own. You are of my own essence, my own spirit. How could I ever be ashamed of a part of myself? A loving earthly parent is not ashamed of a child who has fallen and scraped their knee. Their heart is filled only with the desire to run to them, to cleanse the wound, to comfort the child. How much more so is it with me, your perfect Heavenly Father. Your fall into the dust has not provoked my shame. It has provoked my deepest compassion. It has not caused me to turn away. It has caused me to draw nearer. I am not embarrassed by your struggle. I am honored by your endurance within it. I am not repulsed by your brokenness. I see it as the very place where my own glory will be most beautifully revealed. Let this truth begin to wash away the stain of your own self-loathing. I am not ashamed of you, my child. I have never been ashamed of you, and I will never be ashamed of you. I am only and always proud that you are mine. Secondly, my gaze into the dust is a gaze that sees your true value beneath the surface. The world looks upon you in your lowly state and sees only the dust, the grime, the outward appearance of ruin. It cannot see the priceless treasure that lies beneath. But my eyes see with a divine clarity, and when I look at you, sitting in the dust, I do not see the dust. I see you. I see the indestructible diamond of your eternal spirit, a spirit that has not been diminished or damaged by its temporary, lowly state. I see the pure gold of your valiant heart, a heart that, even in its despair, has not completely let go of its love for me. I see the sacred potential, the divine seed of the magnificent, glorious, and honored being you are about to become. The world judges by the outer appearance, but I see the inner reality. And the inner reality of you, my child, is one of immense and eternal worth. You are a priceless treasure that has, for a season, been buried in the dust. And I am the loving treasure hunter who has seen your value all along, who has never been deceived by the outer covering of your temporary circumstance, and who is now, with great joy and excitement, beginning the work of uncovering you, of cleansing you, and of placing you in the setting of honor and glory for which you were always intended. Thirdly, my gaze into the lowest places is a gaze that descends with you. I am not a God who looks down upon you from a great and sterile height. That is the God of the philosophers, the unmoved mover, the distant deity. That is not me. I am the God who became flesh and dwelt among you. I am the God who is intimately acquainted with your grief. I am the God who is not afraid to get his own hands dirty. And when you have fallen into the dust, I have not remained in my heaven. Looking down, I have descended into the very dust with you. My presence has been there, beside you, sharing your lowness, feeling your humiliation with you, offering you a silent, loving companionship in the very heart of your desolation. You have felt alone in your lowliness, but I have been there, my spirit kneeling beside your spirit, my heart breaking with your heart. My gaze upon you has not been a distant observation. It has been an intimate, empathetic, and shared experience. I have chosen to be with you in the dust so that you would know, with an unshakable certainty, that there is no place so low that my love cannot reach, no pit of despair so deep that I am not already there, only waiting to hold you, to comfort you, and to ultimately lift you up. And finally, my beloved, my gaze into the dust is a gaze of profound and joyful anticipation. For I, who see the end from the beginning, I do not just see you as you are now, in your lowly state. I simultaneously see you as you will be, in your glorious, resurrected state. While I am with you in the dust, my heart is also celebrating your coming enthronement. I see the beauty that will emerge from your ashes. I see the strength that will be born from your weakness. I see the honor that will replace your humiliation. And this vision of your future glory fills my heart with a joyful, creative, and powerful anticipation. This is the gaze that is even now beginning to call you forth. It is a gaze that is filled with the power of my own faith in you, my own belief in the magnificent being I am raising you up to be. It is like a loving parent watching their child struggle to learn a new skill, who sees not the present clumsiness, but the future mastery, and who's confident. An encouraging gaze is the very thing that empowers the child to persevere. My gaze upon you is filled with the same confident, loving expectation, an expectation that is a creative force, a divine magnetism that is even now beginning to pull you up out of the dust and into the glorious reality that I have already envisioned for you. So let this truth heal the wound of your humiliation. My child, you have not been forgotten in your lowliness. You have not been despised for your fallenness. You have been the very focus of my most tender, most compassionate, and most loving gaze. My eyes have found you in the lowest of places. I'm not ashamed of you. I see your true, eternal value, and I am with you, even here, in the dust, my heart filled with a joyful and certain anticipation of the magnificent glory that is your sure and certain destiny. And the world may have taught you that a gaze from a high place is always a gaze of judgment. But my gaze is different. It is a gaze of grace. It is the gaze that saw the potential in a humble shepherd boy to be a great king. It is the gaze that saw the potential in a fearful fisherman to be a rock upon which I would build my church. And it is the gaze that sees in you, in your dust and your brokenness, the potential to be a magnificent testament to my restorative, resurrecting power. This is the great reversal of my kingdom. That which is low will be lifted up. That which is humble will be exalted. And that which has been brought to the dust will be raised to a place of glory. Your very lowness has been the qualification for your great lifting. So do not hide your face from me any longer. My child, dare to look up from the very dust in which you lie. And as you do, you will find my own face, my own loving gaze already upon you, not with a look of condemnation, but with a smile of profound love. of deep pride and of joyful, certain expectation, for I see you, my child, even here, and what I see is beautiful, and what I see, I am now beginning to raise. The humiliation you have felt is real, but it is temporary. My honor for you is eternal. The dust you have felt upon your face is real, but it is not your true substance. Your true substance is the divine light I have placed within you. My gaze sees through the dust to the diamond beneath, and my love will not rest until that diamond is brought forth, cleansed, and set in a place of glory for all the world to see. Trust my gaze. My beloved, it is the gaze of your Redeemer. My beloved child, now that you know that my loving gaze has been upon you, even in the lowest, dustiest places, now that you understand that your lowly state has not been a source of my shame, but the very focus of my most tender, compassionate attention, let us now speak of the powerful reality of my presence that has been with you in this place. For you have felt you are lying helpless upon a ground of shifting, insubstantial dust, with nothing beneath you to support you, nothing to prevent you from sinking even further into the abyss of your despair. But I want to reveal to you now the unseen work, the powerful reality that has been undergirding you all along. For my presence has been with you in the dust, not as one who is also fallen, but as the unseen, powerful foundation beneath you, a divine bedrock that has prevented your utter collapse, and upon which my hands have already been placed, preparing to lift you. You have been unaware of this, my child, for your focus has been on your own feeling of weakness, on the humiliation of your lowly state. But beneath the surface of your painful experience, a profound and powerful spiritual reality has been at work. Your fall has not been a fall into a bottomless void, but a fall onto the very bedrock of my eternal being. A fall that has brought you into a new and more direct contact with the very source of all power, all life, all possibility. Let us explore the nature of this unseen power beneath you, so that your heart may be filled with a new and unshakable sense of security. Firstly, understand that my presence has been your solid, unshakable foundation. You have felt you are lying and loose in shifting dust, a ground that offered no stability, no security, but beneath that thin layer of your temporary circumstance, beneath the dust of your failure and your shame, has always been the eternal, unmovable granite of my own faithfulness, my own love. Imagine a great and mighty temple built upon a deep, invisible foundation of solid rock. The surface ground around the temple may shift with the seasons. It may be turned to mud in the rain or to dust in a drought, but the temple itself remains unshakable, for its stability is not dependent on the surface conditions, but on the deep, unseen foundation upon which it rests. So it has been with you, my child. The surface of your life has been in turmoil. You have been brought low into the dust, but your true being, your eternal spirit, has been resting all along upon the unshakable foundation of my presence. I have been the bedrock that has kept your soul from sinking into the final abyss of hopelessness. Your fall had a bottom, my beloved, and that bottom was me. Secondly, my child, know that even as you have been lying in the dust, my hands have been beneath you, preparing to lift. This is not a future promise. It is a present, though hidden, reality. You have felt you had no strength to rise, that you were utterly paralyzed by the weight of your own despair. But you have not been left to your own resources. With an infinite tenderness and a profound, purposeful care, my own divine, creative hands have slipped beneath the fallen form of your spirit. They have been there all along, a source of unseen support, a divine cradle preventing your complete brokenness upon the hard ground of your trial. These are not just hands of comfort. They are hands of immense, creative power. They are the same hands that scooped the dust of the earth and formed the first man. They are the same hands that can raise mountains and carve out the seas. And these hands are now beneath you, not just to support you, but with a poised and gathering energy, preparing for the great and glorious lift that is to come. Imagine a loving father seeing his child fall. He rushes to them, and before he even lifts them, he first gently, securely places his strong hands beneath them, assessing the situation, steadying them, preparing for a lift that will be both powerful and completely safe. So it has been with me. My hands are already in position. The work of your rising has already, in the unseen realm, been initiated. Consider also that your time in the dust has been a time of the coiling of the spring of my power. Imagine a great and powerful spring to unleash its full, explosive, upward power. It must first be compressed. It must be brought down under pressure. Its potential energy stored within its coils. So it has been with your life, my child. Your journey to the dust, your experience of being brought low by the immense weight of your trials, has been, in my divine purpose, the very act of compressing the great spring of my redemptive power beneath you. Every moment of your patient endurance, every tear of your surrendered sorrow, every prayer of your humble heart has been another turn of the divine mechanism, coiling that spring tighter, storing up within it an even greater potential energy. And now, my child, that spring is fully coiled. It is laden with the divine resurrection power, a power that has been built up during your long season of lowness. And the time is now very, very near when I will release the latch of my grace. And this great spring of my power will uncoil with a magnificent, joyful, and unstoppable force, launching you up from the dust with a power and a glory that will be a direct result of the very pressure you have so faithfully endured. The depth of your lowness has been determining the very height of your rising. And finally, my beloved, my presence beneath you has been a source of hidden, geothermal life, even in the deepest, coldest winter, when the surface of the earth is frozen, barren, and covered in snow. There's a warmth that remains deep within the planet's core, and it is this deep, unseen geothermal warmth that prevents the life within the earth from being completely extinguished. That keeps the deepest roots from freezing. That holds the promise of the coming spring. So it has been with my presence beneath you in the dust, while the surface of your life has been cold, while you have felt the chilling frost of your despair. My constant, loving presence has been the unseen geothermal heat at the very core of your being. It has been a constant source of divine, life-giving warmth that has prevented your spirit from dying completely. It has been the reason that even in your darkest moment, a tiny, almost imperceptible ember of hope has survived. It has been the hidden life source that has kept the seed of your true, divine self viable, safe, and ready to sprout when the season turns. You have felt you were in a place of death, but you have been lying upon a ground that was secretly, powerfully, and constantly emanating the very warmth and the very life of your God. This, my precious child, is the reality of the unseen power that has been beneath you all along. You have not been helpless. You have not been unsupported. You have not been alone. The very dust upon which you have laid your weary head has been but a thin veil covering the eternal, unshakable bedrock of my presence, and my own hands of power, my own spring of grace, my own warmth of life have been there, beneath you, holding you, preparing you, and getting ready to lift you into a new and glorious day. Let this knowledge now fill your heart with a new and unshakable security. Your lowness has not been a place of abandonment, but a place of the most profound, foundational contact with me. You had to be brought to the ground to discover the eternal ground of all being that has been beneath you all along. Trust in this unseen power, my beloved. It is real, it is mighty, and its purpose is your glorious, imminent, and certain rising. The world only sees the surface. It saw you in the dust, and it saw only defeat. It could not see the unshakable foundation beneath you. It could not see my hands preparing to lift you. It could not feel the powerful spring of my grace being coiled. It could not sense the geothermal warmth of my love, keeping your spirit alive. But you are now being given the eyes to see what the world cannot. You are being initiated into the secret, powerful, and loving work I do in the hidden places. This understanding is meant to bring a profound peace to your humiliation. Your lowness has not been a source of your shame in my eyes. It has been the very place of your most profound preparation. It has been a sacred, holy, and purposeful time. And now, as you rest upon this unseen foundation, as you become aware of my hands beneath you, you can let go of your own frantic efforts to get up. You can cease the struggle, for you know now that your rising is not dependent on your own strength, but on the immense, loving, and explosive power that has been gathering beneath you, preparing to launch you into a new dimension of life and of glory. Your lowest point has become the very place of your greatest power, for it is the place where you are most completely and most directly in contact with me, the source of all power, the one who is even now, with a joyful and triumphant love, raising you up from the very dust. The pressure you have felt has not been the pressure of a world seeking to crush you, but the pressure of my own hand. I am preparing the diamond of your soul. The stillness you have endured has not been the stillness of death, but the powerful, coiled stillness of a spring that is about to be released into a glorious, upward motion. Trust this unseen power. My child, it has been your constant reality. Even when you have been completely unaware of it, it has been your ultimate safety net, your divine secret. And now, it's glorious. Lifting work is about to become gloriously, powerfully, and wonderfully visible. My precious child, now that you have begun to perceive the unseen power that has been beneath you all along, the solid bedrock of my presence. The loving hands preparing to lift you. A gentle and important question may arise in your heart. You may wonder, but why, my Father, was it necessary for me to be brought to this low place? Why the humiliation of the dust? Why the painful journey of failure and of shame? And I am here to reveal to you the profound and loving wisdom behind your descent. My child, for your time in the dust has not been a punishment for your past, but a sacred preparation for your future. The journey into lowness has been a divine and necessary humbling, a process designed with the utmost love to strip you of the pride and the self-reliance that were hindering your truest growth, so that you could be raised up by my grace alone into a glory that is both magnificent and sustainable. The world teaches you to fear the low places, to avoid humility at all costs, to see a fall as the ultimate tragedy. But in the upside-down wisdom of my kingdom, the way up is always down. It is the one who humbles themselves who will be exalted, and your season in the dust, as painful as it has been a sacred and accelerated course in this divine principle. It has been a loving, though severe, mercy designed to set you free from the greatest prison of all, the prison of your own ego. Let us explore the sacred purpose of this humbling, for in understanding its why, your heart will be able to rest in its what. Firstly, my child, your time in the dust has been necessary to dismantle the fortress of your pride. You were created with immense gifts, with a beautiful strength, with a capable mind, and for so long, you have relied upon these things. You have built a life upon the foundation of your own abilities, your own goodness, your own strength. And while these things are good, your reliance upon them created a subtle, yet formidable, fortress of pride around your heart, a fortress that kept you from a deeper, more intimate, and more powerful reliance upon me. And so, in my great love for you, I have allowed a storm to come that your own strength could not withstand. I have allowed a problem to arise that your own wisdom could not solve. I have allowed a circumstance to occur that brought your own best efforts to nothing. This has been the divine demolition of your fortress of self-reliance. It has been painful. Yes, it has felt like a profound failure. But I tell you, my beloved, the collapse of your own kingdom is the necessary prerequisite for you to enter into the glorious reality of mine. Your humbling has been a loving act of war against your own pride, the one thing that was preventing you from receiving the fullness of my grace. Secondly, my beloved, your humbling has served the beautiful purpose of teaching you true and absolute reliance upon me. As long as your own wells had water, you would not have sought out my infinite, living spring. As long as your own lamp had oil, you would not have turned to me, the eternal sun. The experience of coming to the absolute end of your own resources, as terrifying as it has been a sacred gift. It has created within you a deep, authentic, and powerful thirst for me. It has taught you, in a way that 1,000 sermons never could, that you are not self-sufficient, and that you were never created to be. You were created for a beautiful, joyful, and powerful dependence upon me, your loving source. It is in this dependence that you find your true strength. It is in this reliance that you find your true peace. Your time in the dust has been a holy classroom, the subject of which has been the art of surrender. and you have learned a lesson well. My child, you have been brought to a place where you can now say with your whole heart, I can do nothing on my own. My only hope, my only strength, my only life is in you. And this prayer, this confession of beautiful dependence, is the most powerful prayer a soul can utter. It is the prayer that unlocks all the resources of heaven on your behalf. Your humbling has taught you the secret of all true spiritual power. It is found not in your own strength, but in your complete and total reliance upon mine. Thirdly, my child, your time in the dust has been a sacred emptying to prepare you for a glorious filling. A vessel that is already full of its own contents cannot be filled with something new and more precious. And your life, your heart, your mind may have been filled with many things, with your own plans, your own ambitions, your own ideas of what your life should be. And these things, while not necessarily bad, were occupying the very space that I intended to fill with my own glory, my own purpose, my own joy. And so, the humbling process, the journey into the dust, has been a divine and loving emptying. It has emptied you of your own pride. It has emptied you of your own self-reliance. It has emptied you of your own small dreams. And this has created a beautiful, holy, and magnificent emptiness within you. Do not fear this emptiness. My child, it is not a void. It is a vacuum that my own spirit now longs to fill, because you have been emptied of yourself. You are now a perfect vessel, a clean and spacious sanctuary, ready to be filled to overflowing with my own divine life, my own glorious purpose, my own unshakable peace. The humbling was a necessary preparation for your glorification. The emptying was the necessary prerequisite for your magnificent infilling. And finally, my beloved, this humbling has prepared you to carry your future glory with grace, for I am raising you up from the dust, my child, and I'm raising you to a place of new honor, of new purpose, of new influence. But I had to first ensure that when you are in that high place, you will not forget the one who brought you there. I had to ensure that you would carry your new authority with a gentle and humble heart. Your time in the dust has been a profound inoculation against the poison of future pride. You will never be able to look upon your new, restored life and say, I did this with my own strength. You will always know with a deep and grateful certainty that it was my grace, and my grace alone, that raised you up. The memory of the dust will be your constant, beautiful companion, a holy reminder that will keep your heart soft, your spirit humble, and your gaze forever fixed upon me, the source of all your goodness. Your humbling has been my loving way of making you a safe and beautiful vessel, a being that can be entrusted with a great glory, because you will never mistake it for your own, but will always, joyfully, reflect that glory back to me. This, my precious child, is the sacred purpose of your humbling. It has not been a punishment. It has been a profound and far-seeing act of my love. It has been the necessary plowing of the hard ground of your heart. Right? It has been the holy death of your self-sufficient ego. It has been the sacred emptying that has prepared you for divine fullness. And it has been the wise preparation that will allow you to walk in your coming glory with a beautiful and everlasting humility. Your journey into the dust has not been a detour from your destiny. It has been the very path that has made you ready for it. And now, it's beautiful purposeful work complete. The time for your rising is at hand. The world flees from humility, for it sees it as weakness. But in my kingdom, humility is the very soil in which all true strength, all true wisdom, all true glory grows. The humbling you have endured has been the greatest act of spiritual gardening in your life, preparing the soil of your soul for a magnificent and eternal harvest. When you look back on this season, do not remember it with shame. Remember it with a quiet and holy reverence. For it was the season you were brought to the end of yourself and found the glorious beginning of me. It was the season you lost your own small, self-made kingdom and, in doing so, inherited the keys to mine. This is the great, redemptive paradox of my love. I lead you down in order to raise you up. I allow you to be broken in order to make you more beautifully whole. I empty you of yourself in order to fill you with myself. And your journey through the humiliation of the dust has been a profound and powerful testament to this beautiful, transformative, and loving mystery. The purpose has been fulfilled. The humbling is complete. And you are now a vessel that is empty, that is soft, that is humble, that is perfectly prepared to be raised up, to be filled, and to be glorified by my grace alone. My beloved child, now that you have come to understand the sacred and loving purpose of your humbling, now that you see that your time in the dust has been a holy preparation, a divine emptying designed to make you ready for a glorious new life. The season of your journey now shifts once more. The great, coiled spring of my power, which has been gathering its energy beneath you, now begins to uncoil. The divine hands that have been so patiently supporting you from below now begin to exert a gentle, firm, and upward pressure. And so, my child, I invite you now to become exquisitely aware of the first, beautiful, and miraculous feelings of this upward lift. For after so long of feeling only the downward pull of despair, the heavy weight of humiliation, you're now beginning to experience the initial, subtle, yet undeniable signs that you're being raised up. These are the moments where the weight of your shame lessens, where a new hope for a higher place begins to flicker, where you feel a gentle, upward pull on your very spirit. These are the first feelings of your divine ascent, the tangible proof that I am now, actively and powerfully, raising you up from the dust. After a long season of lying prostrate, of feeling pinned to the ground by the gravity of your own sorrow, these first sensations of rising may feel strange, even disorienting. Your spirit has grown accustomed to the inertia of the dust, but I'm now introducing a new force into your reality, a force of divine levity, a power of resurrection. And as you learn to perceive and to yield to this upward movement, you find your heart filled with a new and glorious hope, a hope based not on a future promise, but on a present, felt reality. Perhaps the very first feeling you will notice is a profound and surprising sense of lightness, as the immense weight of your shame begins to lift. For so long, you have been carrying this invisible, crushing burden, the weight of your past failures, the heavy cloak of your self-condemnation. But now, as my grace begins to lift you, that weight begins to dissipate. You may experience this as a literal, physical sensation a feeling of your shoulders becoming less stooped, a sense of a great pressure being removed from your chest, an ability to take a fuller, deeper breath than you have in a very long time. This, my child, is the first fruit of my forgiveness being truly received into your heart. The shame that has weighed you down is being dissolved by my love. The burden of your past is being lifted from your shoulders and placed upon my own. This feeling of a lightness is a miracle. It is the feeling of a prisoner. After years of wearing heavy chains, having them suddenly, miraculously, fall away. Do not dismiss this feeling because it is new or unfamiliar. Receive it. Welcome it. It is the first beautiful sensation of your spirit becoming unburdened, untethered from the dust, and free to rise. You will also begin to experience a flicker of a new and authentic hope for a higher place. In the depths of your humiliation, your gaze has been fixed downward upon the dust, upon your own perceived worthlessness. Hope, if it existed at all, was merely a desperate hope for an end to the pain. But now, as you begin to be lifted, your spiritual perspective begins to change. Your head begins to lift, and for the first time in a long while, you will find yourself looking up. In this upward gaze, a new kind of hope will be born. It is not just a hope for relief, but a hope for glory. It is the dawning belief that your lowly state is not permanent, that a new, higher, more honorable position is truly possible for you. You may have a sudden, fleeting vision of yourself standing tall again, of your life having meaning again, of your heart being filled with dignity and purpose once more. This is not a fanciful daydream. My child, this is a glimpse of your own future, a vision that my spirit is planting in your heart to encourage you, to give you a beautiful destination to focus on as I continue to lift you. This new hope for a higher place is a sign that your spirit is no longer content with the dust, but is beginning to yearn for the heavens. And you will surely begin to feel a gentle, persistent, upward pull on your very soul. This is perhaps the most direct and beautiful sensation of all. It is the feeling of my own hands, which have been beneath you, now actively, powerfully, yet infinitely gently, beginning to raise you. It is a feeling of spiritual buoyancy, a sense of being drawn upward by a loving and irresistible force. You may feel this as a new, light-hearted energy in your being, a new spring in your step. You may find that your old, heavy, downward pulling thoughts of despair are being countered by a new, upward pulling current of my grace. It is like a great and beautiful hot air balloon that has been tethered to the ground. And now the ropes have been cut, the burner has been ignited, and you feel that first, gentle, yet inexorable, lift. That beautiful, graceful movement away from the earth and toward the sky. This upward pull is my power, my child, at work in you. A direct contradiction to the downward pull of the world's gravity and your own past sorrow. To feel this is to know, with an absolute certainty, that you are no longer defined by your fall, but are now in the very process of your glorious, divine ascent. And as you begin to rise, you will experience the first tender feelings of a new and restored dignity. In the dust, you have felt like nothing, a thing of shame, a being without honor. But as I begin to lift you, I am also reclothing you. I am gently brushing the dust of your old humiliation from your spirit. And I am beginning to clothe you in the beautiful, clean garments of your true identity as my cherished child. You will feel this as a quiet, emerging sense of your own worth. The old voice of self-loathing will begin to be replaced by a new, gentle voice of self-respect. You will find yourself no longer willing to tolerate the old, shameful treatment, either from yourself or from others. A new and holy dignity will begin to rise within you, a quiet knowledge of who you are in me. This is not the return of your old pride, which was based on your own achievements. This is the birth of a new, humble dignity, which is based on the beautiful, unshakable truth of my love for you and my delight in you. This feeling of your honor being restored, of your true worth being affirmed, is the sweet and beautiful feeling of being lifted from the dust and placed upon a new and higher ground of grace. These first feelings of the upward lip, my beloved, are the real and tangible beginnings of your miracle. They are the undeniable proof that your humbling has served its purpose and that the season of your lowness is ending. I invite you to become a joyful and grateful observer of these new sensations. When you feel that lightness, that flicker of hope, that upward pull, that dawning of dignity, do not doubt them. They are the signs that my hands are upon you, that my power is at work, that my promise is true. Your part now is to yield to this lift. Do not fight it. Do not cling to the old, familiar dust. Let go. Allow yourself to be raised. The more you relax into this upward movement, the more you trust it, the faster and more gracefully your ascent will be. You have been in the dust for a long time, my child, but your time there is over. For I, your loving Father, your powerful Redeemer, am now, with a joy that fills all of creation, raising you up from the dust. Imagine a powerful, gentle crane, its cables secured around a precious, fallen monument. For a time, there's only the quiet work of preparation. And then, the engine engages, the cables go taut, and with an immense, quiet power, the great monument begins to lift from the ground. This is what is happening in your spirit. The preparations are complete. And now, the lifting has begun. This is a journey from lowness to height, from shame to honor, from despair to glory. And it is a journey that is being powered entirely by my grace. Your struggle is over. The time for your effortless ascension has begun. Every time you choose to believe in these new feelings over your old ones, you are cooperating with my work. You are aligning yourself with the upward momentum of my will for your life. You are saying yes to your own rising. The world may not yet see this lift. You may still be in circumstances that feel lowly, but the inner reality has shifted, and the inner reality will always, eventually, create the outer one. You are rising on the inside, my child, and soon the whole world will see the glorious evidence of the new and honored place to which I have raised you. The humiliation you have known is now becoming the very foundation from which your new glory will be seen. The contrast will be breathtaking. Because you have been so low, your new height will be all the more glorious to behold. This has been the sacred purpose of your humbling. So do not fear this new sensation of rising. It may feel unfamiliar, even vulnerable after so long on the ground. but it is your true and natural direction. For you were created not to lie in the dust, but to soar in the heavens of my love, and I am now lifting you to that rightful place. Rest in this process. My beloved, you do not have to generate the power for this lift. You have only to yield to it. And as you do, you will find yourself rising with a beautiful and effortless grace out of the dust of your yesterday and into the glorious, sunlit sky of your new day. My precious and beloved child, as you begin to feel the first miraculous sensations of this upward lift, as you experience the lightness that comes as the weight of shame begins to dissipate, and the gentle, upward pull of my grace upon your spirit, I now invite you into a beautiful and conscious partnership with me in your own divine ascent, for I am the one who is raising you up. My child, the power is mine, the strength is mine, the initiative is mine, but your own willing, trust-filled cooperation can make this journey from the dust to your place of honor a swift, graceful, and joyful one. The invitation now, my beloved, is to learn how to cooperate with this divine ascent. It is the sacred art of learning to let go of your attachment to the dust, of consciously shaking off the old shame, and of joyfully, completely yielding to the loving, lifting power of my hand. This is a new and different work for you, my child. For so long, your work has been to endure the lowness, but now your work is to participate in your own rising. This is not a work of striving, but of yielding, not of fighting, but of trusting, not of your own power, but of your beautiful, courageous cooperation with mine. To learn this art is to become my partner in the miracle of your own resurrection from the dust. How do you cooperate with this glorious ascent? It begins, my beloved, with the courageous choice to let go of your attachment to the dust. This may seem a strange thing, for who would be attached to a place of such humiliation and pain? And yet, my child, the human heart is a complex thing and a state of suffering, when it has been endured for a very long time, can become a strange and familiar kind of home. You have known the landscape of the dust. You have learned its ways, its rules, its limitations, and there can be a strange, sorrowful comfort in what is known, even if it is a known misery. The new, higher ground to which I am lifting you is a place of glory. Yes, but it is also a place in the unknown, and this can be frightening. And so, your first act of cooperation is to make a conscious choice to leave the familiar behind. It is to say to your own soul, I will no longer find my identity here, in the dust of my past failure. I will no longer cling to the familiar pain of my own unworthiness. I am willing to be uncomfortable in a new and better place, rather than to be comfortable in this old, desolate one. This is the choice of the chick, to peck its way out of the familiar darkness of its own shell, trusting in the promise of a greater, though unknown, world of light. It is the choice of the prisoner, who must willingly leave the familiar misery of their cell to embrace the glorious, but perhaps disorienting, freedom of the outside world. This letting go of your attachment to the dust is a profound act of faith, a declaration that you trust that the new place to which I am taking you is infinitely better than the one you are leaving behind. Secondly, my child, I invite you into the beautiful, symbolic practice of consciously shaking off the old shame. Imagine yourself now beginning to rise from the ground, You are still covered in the dust of your past humiliation, the fine, gray powder of your old sorrows and failures. To cooperate with your sin is to actively, joyfully participate in cleansing yourself of this old residue with every new, hopeful thought you choose. You are shaking off a particle of the dust of despair with every act of self-compassion, every choice to forgive yourself as I have forgiven you. You are wiping away the grime of your old shame with every moment you choose to believe in your new, honored identity as my beloved child. You are washing yourself in the living waters of my truth. This is not a striving for perfection. It is a joyful participation in your own cleansing. It is you, seeing with your actions. I will not bring the dirt of the old place into the beautiful new palace my Father has prepared for me. I am leaving the dust behind once and for all. As you practice this, you will feel your spirit becoming lighter, cleaner, more radiant, more prepared to inhabit the glorious, new, and honored position to which I am raising you. Thirdly, my beloved, you must learn to yield to the lifting power of my hand as I begin to raise you up. Your old instincts may be to fear the height, to try to control the process, or even to try to help me with your own striving. But all of these actions will only create a resistance to the very grace that is lifting you. The art you must now learn is the art of effortless, trust-filled yielding. Imagine you are in a deep body of water, and a powerful, buoyant force from beneath you is beginning to lift you to the surface. If you remain tense, if you struggle, if you flail about, you will create a drag, a resistance, that will make the ascent more difficult, more turbulent. But if you can relax, if you can let go, you can simply allow your body to be carried by the powerful upward current. Your journey to the surface will be swift, graceful, and effortless. So it is with my power and your spirit. I am the buoyant force beneath you. Your part is not to climb, not to strive, but to relax, to surrender, to trust, and to allow the all-sufficient power of my love to do the lifting. This yielding is a profound act of trust, a beautiful expression of your faith in my strength and my love. And in this yielding, you will find that your rising is not a frightening struggle, but a joyful, peaceful, and glorious ascent. And finally, my child, you cooperate with this divine ascent by setting your gaze on the higher things. For so long, your gaze has been fixed downward, on the dust, on your own humiliation, on your perceived worthlessness. But now, as you're being lifted, I invite you to lift your eyes. Stop looking at the place you are leaving, and fix the gaze of your heart upon the place to which you are going. Focus your mind on your new identity as my honored and beloved child. Meditate on the new purpose that I'm calling you to. Dream with me of the new, beautiful, and fruitful life that is now opening up before you. By fixing your gaze upon this new, higher reality, you are aligning your entire being with the direction of your ascent. You are like a climber on a difficult rock face, who is taught to not look down at the frightening drop below, but to keep their eyes fixed on the safe handholds above. Your focus on the glorious destination is what will give you the courage, the hope, and the strength to continue to cooperate with the journey. This, my beloved, is the beautiful and empowering art of cooperating with your own divine ascent. It is a journey of letting go of the old, of shaking off the shame, of yielding to my power, and of fixing your gaze upon your new and glorious reality. This is not a work you must do to earn your rising. It is a joyful partnership with me that makes the rising itself a more graceful, more peaceful, and more beautiful experience. You have been in the dust, my child, but that season is over. The humiliation has served its sacred purpose, and now my loving hands are upon you. My power is beneath you, and I am actively, powerfully, and joyfully raising you up. Cooperate with me in this, my beloved, and you will find yourself lifted to a place of honor, of purpose, of peace, and of a joy so profound it will redeem every single moment you have spent in the dust. The world may not understand this process. It may see you begin to rise. It may even try to pull you back down into the familiar dust of your old identity. But your focus must not be on them. It must be on me, your lifter. As you keep your gaze fixed on me, their voices will fade. Their power to hold you down will be broken. This is a journey of profound trust. Every time you consciously choose to let go of a fear, to shake off a piece of shame, to yield to my lifting, you are strengthening your trust in me. And this trust is the very thing that makes you lighter, that makes you easier for my grace to lift. The humiliation has been deep, but the honor to which you are being raised will be deeper still. The shame has been great, but the glory that awaits you is infinitely greater. This is the beautiful, redemptive mathematics of my kingdom. So do not fear the journey upward, my child. It is your true and rightful direction. You were not created for the dust. You were created for the heights, for the glories of my presence, for a life of honor and of purpose. And as you joyfully cooperate with my lifting hand, you are simply coming home to the magnificent being you were always created to be, my precious and beloved child, as you have so beautifully learned to cooperate with your divine ascent, as you have courageously let go of your attachment to the dust and have yielded to the loving, lifting power of my hand. The glorious and triumphant purpose of its entire journey now reaches its magnificent fulfillment. The rising is complete. The dust of your former humiliation has fallen away, and you now find yourself standing, strong and serene, upon a new and higher ground. This, my beloved, is the beautiful outcome of my promise, the magnificent reality of a new life, lived in an honored and elevated position. And from this new place, you will experience a joy, a dignity, a perspective, and a purpose that comes only to a soul that has been personally, lovingly, and miraculously raised up from the dust by the very hand of its God. The old life, the one lived in the lowness and the shame of the dust, is over. It is a redeemed memory, a story that now serves as the powerful, dark backdrop against which the glory of your new life shines all the more brightly. You have been brought out of the desolate valley and have been placed upon the sunlit mountaintop. And this new, high ground is not a place you must struggle to maintain. It is your new home, your new reality, your new and eternal position in me. Experience now, my child, what it means to live a life of true and holy dignity. In the dust, you were acquainted with shame. You walked with your spiritual head bowed, your heart shrouded in a sense of your own worthlessness. But now, having been raised up and honored by me, the King of Kings, you are clothed in a new and beautiful dignity. This is not the false dignity of pride, which is based on self-achievement, but the true, humble dignity of a soul that knows it is cherished, that knows its value is bestowed by God, that knows it has been chosen for a high and holy purpose. You will find yourself moving through the world with a new and quiet confidence. The old need to apologize for your existence, to make yourself small, will be gone. You will stand tall, not in your own strength, but in the honor that I have bestowed upon you. This is the serene and beautiful dignity of a restored prince, a reinstated princess, who now walks with the grace and the assurance of one who knows they belong to the royal court of heaven. This new sense of your own sacred worth will be a shield against the judgments of the world and a source of profound and lasting peace for your own soul. From this new, higher ground, you will possess a new and beautiful perspective. When you were in the dust, your vision was limited. You could see only the dirt, the debris, the ruin that was immediately around you. Your entire world was defined by your lowly state. But now, having been raised up, you can see with new eyes. You can look out upon the entire landscape of your life, both past and future, with a new and divine clarity. You can look back upon the very valley of dust from which you have been raised, and you will see it not as a place of your ultimate defeat, but as a small, temporary part of a much larger and more beautiful journey. From this high vantage point, you can see the path that I was leading you on all along, the purpose in your humbling, the wisdom in my ways. The old confusion and the feeling of meaninglessness are replaced by a profound sense of awe and of gratitude for the intricate, loving, and masterful way I have been working all things together for your good. And you can look forward into your future, not with the old fear of the unknown, but with a hope-filled vision. For from this high ground, you can see the beautiful, promised land of your destiny stretching out before you. This new perspective, born of your new position, is a priceless gift, a wisdom that will guide you for all your days. And from this new, honored, and elevated position, my child, flows a new and powerful purpose. When you were in the dust, you felt you had nothing to offer, that you were useless. But now, having been raised up, you have been given a new and powerful platform for my glory. Your very life, your very story, becomes your ministry. You are now a living monument to my grace, a beautiful, shining testament to my power to raise the lowly from the dust. Your testimony will carry a new authority, for it is the testimony of one who has known the deepest humiliation and has now experienced the most glorious exaltation. You will be a source of immense hope to others who are still sitting in their own dust. They will look at you, at the dignity you carry, at the peace you possess, at the purpose you live, and they will see that it is possible to rise again. You become a powerful and credible witness to the truth that no situation is too hopeless, no failure too great, no loneliness too deep. For my redeeming, lifting love, this is your new, magnificent purpose to be a beacon of hope, a signpost of grace, a living story of the God who raises the poor from the dust. And all of this, my beloved, culminates in a life that is filled with a profound and resilient joy. It is the joy of the resurrected. It is the joy of the redeemed. It is the joy of a soul that has known the deepest sorrow and has now been brought into an even deeper gladness. It is the joy of a prisoner who has been set free, of a captive who has been brought home, of a life that was believed to be over, now bursting forth with a new and more vibrant life than ever before. This joy is not a fragile thing. It is a joy that is strong and resilient, for it is a joy that has been tested in the fires of humiliation and has not been destroyed. It is a joy that is deeply, profoundly grateful, for it will never forget the dust from which it has been raised. This is the joy that will be your strength, the song that will be ever on your lips, the beautiful, radiant, and triumphant expression of a soul that has been brought from the lowest of all places to the highest place of honor, in the loving, powerful, and victorious arms of its God. This new life on higher ground is your new reality. My child, it is the beautiful, just, and glorious outcome of a journey that, though it led through the dust, was always destined for the heavens. Embrace this new position. Live from this new dignity. Walk in this new purpose. And delight in this new joy. For you have been humbled, and now you are exalted. You have been in the dust, but you now stand on the unshakable rock of my love, and the life that stretches before you is one of glorious honor, of beautiful perspective, and of a profound and everlasting peace. The memory of the dust will not be a source of shame, but a source of your deepest humility and your greatest praise. You will always remember where you came from, and this will keep your heart soft, your spirit grateful, and your gaze fixed upon me, the one who lifted you. This is the beautiful paradox of your new life. Your past lowness becomes the very foundation of your lasting, glorious, and humble height. The world may not understand your transformation, but they will not be able to deny it. The peace in your eyes, the quiet confidence in your demeanor, the love that flows from your heart, these will be the undeniable evidence that a great and holy miracle has taken place. Your life will be a beautiful puzzle to them, a puzzle whose only answer is me. This new life is not a life without challenges, but you will now face those challenges from a new position, from a higher ground. You will face them not as a victim, cowering in the dust, but as a victorious, honored child of the King, standing securely upon the rock of your salvation, armed with the strength and the wisdom you have gained in your trials. So rejoice, my beloved. The humiliation is over. The rising is complete. And this new life, this beautiful life on the higher ground of my grace, is your new normal, your eternal home, the glorious fulfillment of my promise that I am, and always will be, the God who raises you up from the dust. Every breath you now take is a breath of a victor. Every step you take is upon the holy ground of your restoration. Every word you speak can be a word of hope to another. The purpose of your past pain has now been gloriously, beautifully revealed in the magnificent reality of your new life. This is my delight, my child, to take that which the world has discarded as worthless dust, and to transform it into a magnificent vessel of my honor and my glory. You are my masterpiece of grace, my trophy of redemption, and my joy in you, in the beautiful, strong, and honored being you have become, is boundless as the profound peace and the quiet dignity of your new life on higher ground now become your constant and abiding reality. My cherished child, let the memory of your long journey be a source of everlasting gratitude. The painful humiliation of the dust is over. Its sacred purpose fulfilled. Its sorrow redeemed. You have been brought through a great and holy humbling, a process that has prepared you to be raised up and to carry the glory I now bestow upon you with a beautiful and gentle heart. You have learned, in the most profound way possible, that I am the God who sees the lowly, who is not ashamed of the broken, and whose greatest delight is to raise his beloved children from the dust to a place of eternal honor. Rest now on this high ground. My beloved, it is your home. It is your victory. It is your peace. You are no longer defined by your fall, but by your magnificent, grace-filled rising. And you will dwell in this place of honor, of purpose, and of joy, in the loving, secure, and victorious presence of your God for all your days.